going to just get that right-hand.
Yeah, we're having a no time issue on the spectator lane.
All the sensors are fine. I don't know why that's not showing up.
Yep.
You want me to go quick?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, it is quick at times, but it's
Yeah.
not showing the
So the Pontiac went 976 at 135 miles an hour. You didn't see it on the board, but we saw it up here in the timing tower as the AAR Cuda launches out next to that pretty healthy looking Nova.
That Cuda, which I believe, in fact, has a
1066, 123 mile an hour shot, and the Nova goes through a 1237 to 102 miles per hour.
Here in the left-hand lane, we've got the 67 Corvette Roadster. He's owned this car 35 years. He told me he's had 5 different engines in it. He came all the way out from California in the car. It's got an LS motor in it now, and you got to walk up to this thing. It's a sweet car.
Can you tell if he's still running?
Race Rat is the license plate on the back of the Corvette, and we got that screaming yellow Camaro. The Camaro one of the first cars we've seen come up running the Super Street small block naturally aspirated class. We're trying to see if the Camaro is running at the top, and we may have to go down and give him a little push down there. You know, one of the benefits of having an uphill shutdown area like this track has is it naturally scrubs some speed off. Of course, when we have a competitor that's kind of coasting down there, it works a little bit against us. But we're going to get down and give that racer a push off the top end. Well, so to give you a little update on the Larry Larson situation, he's sitting right down behind us at the base of the tower. I just saw Chad Reynolds come back to the truck with a laptop. They got Scott Clark down there. They got, I'm not sure who the guy is on the driver's side of the truck with the Aeromotive shirt on, but they have got some serious brain power in that pickup truck, and now the laptop's plugged in.
And they are running alcohol in the pickup, which is interesting. We got Jeff Lutz doing that this year, too. We've had some guys on E85, and I think that Ferrone ran alcohol on Pro Street a little while ago. What these guys are doing is they have 2 fuel systems, one for gasoline on the street and one for methanol here at the track.
Yeah, and it's not like a ball valve. There's not like a sprayer pump valve they're switching over. There's 2 completely, totally different plumb systems. You can imagine when they come up here with the car set up on alcohol, a much heavier duty pump, they got to flow a ton more fuel. The fuel lines, we heard they may have been actually working to make some radiator hoses work as fuel lines last night. Was a rumor that was floating around. They were having a fitment issue there. So, you know, as hard as everybody is thrashed out here, you know, if you're running an 11-second car, you got to work all night, get a transmission and stuff in it. If you're running a car with dual fuel systems on it and you start having issues, then the complication level just skyrockets.
Yeah, Larry's car has 2 complete banks of injectors on it, and of course they run around on gas, but then they need to phase in as boost increases a second bank of injectors because the alcohol, basically, you need twice as much of it as you do gasoline.
Well, the good news is we've gotten the slew racer off the top end. Hopefully he can get his program squared away. And we got a pair of Chevrolets headed down the racetrack right now. The gorgeous Corvette and that retina melting yellow Camaro of Randy Henselman. Henselman driving the Camaro. Again, the Corvette, a California car, been driven out here by the owner and has had a multitude of power plants in it over the years. So Randy Henselman. Pre-staged, fully staged, the Corvette fully staged. Corvette was out of the hole first by 0.4 of a second, but the Camaros having none of that. As Henselman got to put a fender on him and get there first, 11.07 at 121, as the Corvette goes 11.66 at 117 miles an hour. And
This AAR Cuda in the right-hand lane is running a big block in it. Fun car to watch.
And Bob Williams from Florida launches off the starting line in his second-gen Camaro. Williams was leading his category last year when he blew up a transmission and ended his week, so he wants to finish the job here in 2014. And Williams goes 930 with an 8, 145 miles an hour. And the big block AAR Cuda goes 1078.1 at 124. Something big and nasty is coming through the bottom of the tower now. Is that big block AAR Cuda going to line up next to beautiful Chevelle? And Gas are going to be coming up next. Have not seen Dennis Taylor as of yet this morning. And the Cuda. Old cars pull the front tires up mildly on the launch. Reaction time by 4/10. No problem getting the stripe first down there for the AAR. 1074.3 I should say the AAR tribute car, I guess. 1129.3 And here they still look at the line out the gate. We got them stacked up out to the main road. This place is going to be jammed by the time we're done today. How awesome is that?
Spectators pouring into Thunder Valley here. And of course, you at home are watching the live feed courtesy of Pep Boys Speed Shops. We need to get a computer up here so we know how live we are. There you go. Fire that thing up. We'll get some questions and answers going on in the chat room on youtube.com/motortrend. If you guys in the stands are unable to follow us over to Great Bend, Kansas tomorrow to spectate, you'll want to go to hotrod.com or look at the YouTube channel for Motor Trend, where you will see all the live action all day long. And of course, you'll have to listen to myself and Brian Loans once again.
Well, here's the AAR Cuda that isn't really. Big block power under the hood of the Plum Crazy Cuda that's leading its category as Bob Guido comes back up in the Mustang on the left-hand side.
Actually, Vince Rash in the Pontiac is leading Super Street Big Block nationally average with average 1022. This Cuda needs to improve from a 1070 in order to bump Vince with the Pontiac.
Well, maybe taking the Michael Myers technique and just hanging in there. 1073.5, 124, going to hang where it's been hanging all week.
And you are about to see an actual side-by-side of the first and second place guys in a single class. This doesn't always happen at Drag Week because the lanes are open and it's an all-run situation. Both of these cars are in Super Street Big Block, naturally aspirated. There is Pontiac power in Vince Rash's Firebird in the right-hand lane, and there is a Big Block Mopar in the AAR Cuda. You'd suspect there'd be a 346 pack in that deal, but nope, it's a big block.
An announcement we've never had to make before at Drag Week. I'm going to make it right now. If you're in the pits, if you're walking around in the pits, and or maybe driving a golf cart, please be aware that we got racers trying to get to the staging lanes. They're on a fairly tight schedule here. If you're in the pits on a golf cart or walking around, we love that you're here. We love that you're hanging out, but please be respectful and leave some lanes open for our racers to get to the staging lanes.
And the Cuda trees the Pontiac and rolls through at 1071 to the Pontiac's quicker 1042 at 132 miles an hour. John Ferrone is also here with his, what I never know what that is. It's a Valiant Charger.
Aussie Valiant Charger.
Loaded with a big block Mopar, and he's not actually in Drag Week competition, but he is coming along for fun, and I hope he can get out here later today and run a big number. We got guys checking in on the live feed from all over the world. We got Mexico, Sweden, Finland, Brazil.
And IHOP in Topeka. One guy just sent me a note. So once again comes the Nova from El Paso, Texas. Did not sound healthy coming off the starting line last time. They made some changes. Obviously found what issues may have been, and they're going to try to get a clean run down the Cunningham lane.
That is Josh Cass. He's fighting a battle in Super Street Power at her. He is running an average of 10:02. Everybody else in his class is 8:99 or quicker.
Well, that's a lot better looking. The car came off the starting line, just kind of dangled those front tires on the racetrack. Nova sounds very healthy going through 1,000 feet, 946, 132 miles an hour. The Camaro goes 1108 with a 0 at 120.
You know that many of them are running 1080s or slower, but just think of it. 66 of them with an average, meaning they've done it at least twice.
That is flipping nuts. And this bright yellower Camaro comes up to the starting line now.
Third in Super Street small block, naturally aspirated. This is an 11.0 car at the first two tracks.
And one of the things that I'm really always impressed with the naturally aspirated guy, these guys run camshafts that have like cliff faces for ramps on them. The valve train abuse that the naturally aspirated guys go through, in many ways, even trumps what some of the nitrous, well, the nitrous guys maybe not so much, but the turbocharged guys can get away with that much tamer kind of cam, but these guys just have to leave it all hanging out.
Yeah, valve train wise, these guys might as well just stay home and slam their head in the door, because the enjoyment factor of changing valve springs, rocker arms, and lifters at the side of the road is roughly equal.
Yeah.
I was fighting for the lose on that one, and Sean Fink did not disappoint.
Fighting for the lose.
Oh yeah, cheering for the lose. Want to make sure he maintains his position at the bottom of the class.
Terry Converse and Connie Heisselman. Heinzelman is driving that screaming yellow Camaro on the right side of the racetrack with Terry Converse from California. Drove the car out from California, just pounded on it mercilessly all week. Oh, yeah.
Heisselman defending a third place in Super Street small block, naturally aspirated.
A little bit slow in the old 2-3 shift there for Terry Converse. That cost him a little bit of time. 11:08.2, 121 for Heinzelman. 11:98.8, 115 for the Corvette of Converse. 8:10 with a 6 at 182, and there was probably a grin about 6 feet wide across Gary's face, about a half a second quicker than he's gone all week. That was a great run. 8:10 with a 6 at 182. A clear indication that this racetrack is hanging on to some horsepower out here. We got another hour and a half of racing before we shut the lanes. We're shutting the lanes at 3:30. So here, Randy Heinzelman and Alex Taylor come up now. Heinzelman in that gorgeous AAR Cuda clone. It actually has big block power in the front of it. And Alex Taylor running the twin turbo small block engine in the Hugger Orange Camaro on the right side of the racetrack.
And the purple Cuda is in a hard-fought battle between second and third place for our Super Street big block naturally aspirated class. He's got a 1072 average over 3 days, and his next nearest competitor is 1070. What he does right now could determine pretty much the future of his life.
You don't say.
That's right.
A lot riding
Glory
on
is
this.
forever.
It's a fork in the road. See if he picks it up. Randy Heinzelman goes 10.74.3, 125. Taylor goes 11.10 with a 4, 124. That was the car we had seen running the 950, so I'm not sure why that car slowed down. Went 11.10.4 at 129.
That 869 is, in fact, that Vegas quickest pass of the week. Now check it out here on the pit side, which is, I guess, also the tower side here, the left-hand lane, that red 240Z loaded with a big block Chevy and all the blower.
All of it.
All of it. 100%, not a little bit, but the complete 1471.
This thing is a vicious launcher. Watch this Datsun hike to front. And here we go. Whoa! Oh, man!
What's he doing? Wow. Did you see the sparks on the underside when he smacked that thing?
1040 to 123 miles an hour for Brad Barkley. Heinzelman watched the whole show from the other lane, went 1061.5 at 126. Nobody was kidding when they told us, hey, we're here on Friday for a live, we're just going to turn the screws tighter on these, and everybody so far has done virtually the same thing. It looks like Alex Taylor's car getting a little tire pressure adjustment here. As the Hugger Orange Camaro comes into the water box. But Randy Heinzelman and Alan Adams be our next pair up. Adams in the Corvette, Heinzelman in the screaming yeller Camaro on the left side. Hey, what's up, man? Mike Roy coming after we see Steve Marine, as I see Larry Larson's pickup truck moving closer to the back of the tower. Steve Marine in an absolute showpiece of a Willys coupe. Randy Heintzelman is driving the Camaro, and Steve Marine, the driver of that Willys. These are guys that pack a bunch of stuff, use the wheelie bars as kind of a car carrier tote type thing. Marine's running it unlimited. Can't say that he's been super competitive this week. He's had a fun time. I have heard that from guys that said he's out here. He said, this is the craziest thing I've ever done in my life, and he's coming back next year with a better car or a different car and more horsepower. But the Willys was his effort to get his feet wet. He showed up here unregistered, was one of the last people to actually get in the program. The car's survived so far this week, and it looks like it's surviving along pretty well right now, trying to keep a nose out ahead of the Camaro. 995 at 138 miles an hour for Marine, a 1081.5 122 mile an hour shot for Heintzelman. So Randy Heintzelman. Heintzelman is driving that beautiful Cuda, the AAR style car. Whoa, Heintzelman got pieces falling off that thing. Looks like it might have been an error extension or something just falling off there, a collector extension. As Ralph Hoke goes down to the Nova 968 139, and Heintzelman goes 1052.7 at 126. I saw a 188 mile an hour come up on the 8th mile timer there. I about lost my mind. 4 flat to the 8th mile, and he pedaled the thing. Wow. Randy Heintzelman and Darren Gebhardt. Gebhardt comes up in the red Dakota pickup truck, and Randy Heintzelman comes up in that AAR Cuda. I'm sure those guys had a planned shutoff style of run going there for Larson's truck, but boy, when that number came up in the 8th mile scoreboard, I mean, that thing is capable of virtually everything they claimed it is, that's for sure. Somebody hanging over the wall. There we go. We had a car, the Cuda, was stuck on our little, what we call our cable ramps. We got some cabling going across the racetrack for our cameras, and the car actually got hung up on the stuff, but like 28 guys just went ahead and lifted the back of the thing up. Oh, that's what it was. There you go. Turn down. You're going to aim those clamps up.
One of those fell off the car on his first run today.
Well, we got the other one off here before he went down the racetrack. We're providing public service. Robert Williams is going to be in the next pair up, but first off, we get this big block powered AAR Tribute Cuda of Randy Heintzelman. Heintzelman and the coupe head down the racetrack now. The Cuda have a new problem with the coupe. 1036.9 128, 1164 113 miles an hour.